I'm Brad with the sales team at Garmin here, and what you're looking at is the Garmin G3X Touch system. The Garmin G3X Touch is certified for light piston engine certified aircraft under 6,000 pounds. It is also an experimental system for our experimental and light sport aircraft. So what you see here is a G3X Touch 10-inch flight display. This covers all of our functions for our flight needs, including airspeed, altimeter, all of our directional gyro indication. Also has the attitude presentation that includes synthetic vision, so we get a 3D view of the world around us directly out our windshield. Also has engine monitoring capabilities. You can add a unit called a GEA24 that brings in engine information systems up. It is a touch available flight display system, so there's an expanded view of the engine instruments. I can go back to the main flight display by simply pressing the back button. We can interface either remote mount avionics or panel mount avionics. One being, one of those can be a comm radio. This comm radio is actually controlling the radio of the GTN IFR navigator that's shown here, but we can also install a second comm radio. We can control it directly from the flight display. We can do the same thing with that, including audio panels, so I can go between COM 1 and COM 2 or listen to nav radios, control my intercom from the audio panel directly from the flight display, pair my phone or control my music from this as well. Also have panel or remote mount transponder options. We can control a transponder directly from the flight display. We can control our autopilot system from the flight display, or I can use a panel mount interface for the autopilot control there as well. That's a very nice interface to use. We also have multi-function display options, so I can have a moving map on here with my weather radar. I can bring up a VFR approach plate. I can also bring up IFR and route charts if I choose to fly based on IFR charts there as well. We have our complete waypoint information for the airport we're flying up to. I can find frequencies, runways that are available, weather information, NOTAMs, airport facility directories, or IFR charts there. I can view my current flight plan that's loaded into the system and get additional waypoint information from that as well. This is a weather page for ADS-B in or SiriusXM weather. I can view the radar information that is directly on the flight display. I can look at cloud tops, echo tops, winds aloft, temperatures aloft, lightning information, storm cells, TFR, METARs, pilot reports, freezing level, turbulence forecasts, many different pieces of information that come in from our free ADS-B information. We have a terrain page, so if you're flying in mountainous terrain, this will show terrain that is within 1,000 feet of you in yellow or 100 feet of you in the red depiction. That's a view there of the terrain around us. We also have a traffic page, so this is ADS-B in traffic. That will show that on a map around me, as well as on the synthetic vision of the flight display. If I have SiriusXM installed, I'd be able to change my SiriusXM music stations on here. General information, and then all the way over goes back to the engine page. You can always check full to get back to our full page option. Have many different on-screen user options. If I want to simplify, take away these inset windows, I can do that as well. We interface with multiple flight displays as well as IFR navigators. This is the GTN 650. If you have an airport loaded in here, I would actually be able to activate and load an IFR approach if that was available at that airport, but provides an additional option for IFR certified navigation, another traffic and weather display there as well. So like I said, all experimental and light sport aircraft and our single engine aircraft as well, like a 172 or a Bonanza, Cessna 182, many different types of aircraft like that. Also interface with the backup flight instruments. This is the Garmin G5, so this provides a standby to attitude indicator. This also networks with the rest of the flight displays. If I have a complete failure over here, the G5 will continue to operate off a backup battery. And then if anything like a flight computer fails in the G3X touch system, the G5 will also begin sharing its air data information over to the flight displays. But if I lost all my flight displays and still had power to my IFR navigator, the autopilot, and the G5, I would actually be able to recouple the autopilot and still fly an approach off the GTN with a complete flight display failure. We have additional interfaces like angle of attack interfaces, height advisors, radar altimeters, so a very flexible system that you can install in your aircraft.
So a system with the 650 and the autopilot, the G5 and GX3 Touch. What are we looking at?
You're looking cost-wise?
Yeah.
You'd be looking at anywhere with that setup of equipment, anywhere around $30,000. A basic IFR platform starts at $25,000, can go all the way up to $45,000 for the Garmin hardware, depending on how much systems, how much you're working on.
Thank you.